remember 3 weeks ago, Lautaro was $150 million.
111 is his buyout clause.
$150 million.
111.
All of a sudden, he disappears on the field. From 150, now we're talking about 70. By next week, this guy's going to be $30 million.
They're going to pay.
By the end of the campionato.
To get him out of it.
Listen to me.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie audio experience with IFTV. Calcio is back. Antonio, you guys got a lot of each mask represents you well.
Oh, you got a calcio?
He's got a Calcio mask.
What the hell is going on?
It's just a sticker.
What? I don't have one.
It's just a sticker pasted onto an Italian.
Oh, it's a
flag.
sticker.
Yeah, it's a sticker.
I was saying, do we have a sticker to put over here too?
Sure.
I mean, we could.
I
yeah.
want it now. I want it now. What is it?
How'd you get an Italian flag one? Well, how do we begin with this? Peter is wearing an Inter one. You're matching all that.
It's a black and blue one.
Yeah, but it's for Inter, right? Guys, we got football back. Again, Michael's not here for another podcast. He had a little problem with his ear. He had an ear infection. We seem to get rid of me. We seem to get rid of Michael, but we can never get rid of this guy over here. Maybe we should lock the door.
Lock the door.
Yeah. Move quick.
So,
What?
first of all, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, you're gonna put it. Don't put it on, Anto. Sit down. Sit down, Anto.
What does he have that one?
He did it before. That's why.
If you would have showed up on time, you would have been able to
We
do
look
it.
good. Actually, we look like a Juventus mask. Is it black and
Yeah.
white?
So leave your Italian flag one. Your Italian flag one looks good.
Is it the right way? The green first and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, it's good. It's good.
Your Italian, your mask is backward.
It is backwards, actually.
What the hell,
It is.
man?
You got red,
Yo,
white, and green.
It should be green, white, and red. Turn it around.
He doesn't want to touch it.
What kind of a mask is that?
All right, that's it. I'm going to take it off.
You got a lot of masks. You got a lot of them.
Oh, brother.
How's this?
Good. Much
Better?
better. Yeah. And then I'm not jealous anymore.
Anto, how you doing?
Good.
You all right?
Yeah.
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 I don't know. You seem a little off your rails lately.
Off my rail. What are you talking about?
Cause
I am pissed about Inter stealing the freaking game. I hate that idea.
Well, I know. I saw.
Why it's always us get punished?
Who punished you? You won.
Not yesterday, but what about the rest?
Parma.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Why wasn't the ref looking at the... why they didn't go and look at the VAR? Why?
This is a question that
Lazio it's another one. I mean, I wanted the Lazio to win regardless, but Lazio is another game stolen. That was not a penalty against Fiorentina. Not because I like Joe or I like anybody.
So, what are we starting with the VAR?
You're going to be fair. But you're going to be fair.
With Antonio, we start anywhere this guy wants, and
But you're going to be fair.
He's already off the rail.
be fair, because then you look at the standing. Everything depends on the VAR. If you look at the standing and say, oh, look, then you have an extra 3 points because the game got robbed.
I think you be careful with what you say. With the game got robbed and
I mean,
they
it got
made mistakes
stolen.
because
I mean,
Got stolen.
we've seen mistakes across the board. I think we've all been very critical of how VAR is used, and obviously this week it was at the forefront of a few different issues in multiple games. Did you just paste it onto your shirt?
Yeah, because he took the shirt, the stuff off.
Okay, Anto. We saw it in a couple of different matches across Serie. Just the question mark that keeps coming back of when VAR gets to be used and all stuff. Peter, first of all, what are you feeling? How are you feeling about Inter that they won? We'll start with the Parma match.
Scary.
Scary.
You guys
Why?
didn't look good
Why
in the first
scary?
half.
Why scary?
Why scary?
Because the game was taken away from Parma. Injustifiably.
I think no, but Parma missed their chances. I mean, Gervinho missed a chance.
Could have been 4-0 in the first half.
Could have easily
Easy.
scored, but that's not Inter's doing. That's Parma now capitalizing. Inter are able to keep that distance, get a little bit better in the second half, and score the chances that they had with two defenders, De Vrij and Bastoni, the guys that score the goals
what's
for you.
the name of this guy here was substituting Conte? Can he shave at least? Doesn't he know that he's going to be...
He's an ex-body player, so I don't
doesn't
criticize
matter.
him so much.
You are on primetime
Stellini.
TV. You know that the camera that they're going to be on, they're going to be focusing on you. Shave a little bit. He looks like
Did you shave today?
No,
That's why he's wearing the mask.
But wait a moment. And then he made a comeback because I just read it this morning on the Gazzetta that they deserve to win the game. That
Okay,
Inter
but he's
deserve
gonna
to win
say
the
what
game.
he's gonna say. Listen, you're gonna pinpoint what the person says. He's gonna make his case. In the end, it doesn't matter what anyone says. It matters what happens on the field and the result that happens. You know, Inter, luckily, if you want to say, by the skin of their teeth, they're able to win 2-1, and they live another day. Listen, you're not gonna have great games every game. We have games being played every 3 days. We're gonna see a lot of teams look shaky. I just think it's inevitable that you're gonna have a lot of mixture of players. You're going to have guys that are not going to be playing. We lost already Sensi again. Brozovic has been out. Vecino has been out.
Yeah,
So
but
we don't have a
change
lot
subject. You're changing subject.
I'm not
Don't
changing
worry, you got
subject.
you had a team.
Let me tell
I'm
you
saying
something.
we have Gagliardini in the
Oh,
midfield.
Gagliardini.
That's
wow.
what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Listen. Here's
Yeah.
the bottom line is this. And that is the same thing for all of us.
Okay.
When you refuse, the people on top of there, and Rizzoli, I think, is part of the problem. When you are trying to say to lesser team, let's put a quote-unquote lesser team, because Fiorentina, I'm sure, is not as powerful as it should be, regardless whether it commits or protests or doesn't protest. But when lesser team have been penalized for a referee not even to take the chance to go looking at the VAR, okay? I feel sick on my stomach. In other words, hey, if it's Juventus, we're going to go watch it. If it's Milan, we're going to go watch it. If it's a penalty for Inter, we're going to go watch it. Or Lazio, we're going to go watch it. But if it's for Fiorentina, if it's for Spal, if it's for another lesser team, they're not going to be complaining that much. So
But that's not,
the
Antonio.
point is you have to look at the VAR.
But-
End of
No,
the story.
But that's not the point. The point is that they have a protocol and they follow the protocol. So now, if you want to change, you have to change the protocol. Not the VAR was invented, that was used so that you can make the correct call. Right? That's what the VAR is there. It's an instrument to help you make the right call. Now, when the referee looks at a penalty and he says, I saw everything, it's a penalty. There's no need to go look at a VAR. Now, the protocol, to me, the protocol is wrong because in that particular case, he did not see it. He actually did not see it, what happened, because if he had seen what happened, he would have saw that it was no penalty. So now, how are we going to change? So next year, there's going to be some changes made. What changes can you make on the protocol? Maybe you do it like you tell the coach can say he's got three challenges the whole game. And he can say, okay, that one, I want it to be seen as reviewed on the VAR. That's, I think, one of the changes that could be made so that the VAR. But the referee, they have to use this VAR as an instrument to help them in case they didn't see everything. So now they can go and look and say, oh, okay, it was not the right call.
I think we can agree that we've all said this for I think the entire season, that we're not happy with the referee having so much power in which you could say, oh, I saw it, I don't need this review or this check. And there's always been a miscommunication. Did the VAR tell him, oh, this is a play that you want to check, and he says, no, I already saw it. Obviously we're going back and forth on which case. I think you guys are talking about Fiorentina. He was also talking about the Parma one, Parma with Kulusevski, which again in real time, the one with Kulusevski, I didn't think he got touched. Even I said, no, he didn't get touched. And then when they looked back on it, when we saw it in a slow motion replay.
Right on del piede d'appoggio. Listen to me. Here's the point. The point that I'm trying to make is this. I agree with you, okay? But if you've been shown on prime time where millions and millions of people, they have seen the play, and the play says, hey, that's a penalty, or it's something that you need to review, why doesn't the referee goes over there and reviews? Why don't they call him up from there? Somebody's not making the phone call for me. They got to make that phone call. If everybody can watch on primetime TV, that's a problem over there. It was a problem with Caicedo. That was not a penalty by any stretch.
Yeah.
Okay? And on Barella, that was a penalty. Why they don't check it?
I agree, and I think that this is the problem is when if we didn't have VAR, some of these can be understood. You could look at it and you say, you know what, from the angle, when I watch it, definitely he hit him. But when we implement VAR and when we have video replay, it's harder to accept these kind of calls. That when you watch the replay, you could see that Caicedo is falling before he even makes contact. And for a team like Fiorentina, I can understand why they're so frustrated. You know, you really fight for everything. It really changed the match after they got that penalty kick. And these kind of points and these little plays that can help turn around a match. And obviously, I'm not going to go as far to say, you know, Lazio robbed the match. They got help. I don't think in any of that. I think that the problem stems from referees having a little bit too much control in these situations. In my opinion, every single play should be checked. And if they say, and they watch a replay, like, let the game flow. If they could check right away, listen, I think you should review this. I think if they tell you you should review it, you have to review it. I don't think it should be at the referee's discretion
Right.
where he says, no, I already saw it. Because, again...
We agree with that. I agree.
I'm not saying that the referee's wrong, that he thinks that he saw it. But there are certain angles, again, if a player's blocking you, you could be misinterpreted. But when you see it from a different replay, you could tell. So I think that's the protocol of it could be
that
better.
Has to be changed. There was also another case in the Sampdoria game where the player, he got punched. He was going up and the guy actually punched him, and that was a clear penalty. But again,
Gaetano, I'm
they
not
didn't,
trying to
they
make
didn't
the
review
point.
it.
Gaetano.
But the problem is the protocol. That's where the problem.
I agree.
Gaetano, I'm
And
not
that's
trying
what needs
make
to
a-
be changed.
I'm not trying to make the point just because Joe is our friend, Joe Barone is our friend, or we like Fiorentina. No.
What does that have to do with
AC
anything?
Milan, AC Milan got robbed by Fiorentina.
I just told you Sampdoria.
Right.
The guy punched him.
Right,
while
but
it was up
AC
in the
Milan,
air.
for example, this is a call against Fiorentina. AC Milan was given a penalty against. There was no penalty on Cutrone. I don't know if you remember that.
No,
Fiorentina was
Yes.
awarded a penalty on Cutrone. That was not a penalty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, it has nothing
Okay.
to do with that. I said, you got to be fair. You got to be fair across.
We understand.
You know, you need, like we say many times, the referee culture has to change. He has to say, when he goes inside the field, he has to say, wow, I got something that it can help me. If I didn't see the whole thing,
Yeah.
this can help me, and I can make the right call. At the end of the day, that's what it counts. That's what it's all about.
I was watching even Rizzoli. I think I've said this before too. I was watching him. He did an interview, a long interview, where he spoke about the psychology of a referee. And I understand that referees, they want to be in control, and they've always seen as the person that tries to keep the balance between the game. But there's a fine line. In my opinion, the referee can't become the center of the match. It can't be that we come here and every week you have to talk about the referee. It should be that the referee is just there. He does his job. We use the instruments that we have in place to help him do a better job, and allowing that to be more so the objective and not I have to make the call because this is what a real referee does. A real referee has to do it my way, and I think that's sometimes we do see it like that. In terms of the Inter match, though, first half Inter was shockingly bad. I don't think I saw a match this season that was as poor as that first half from Inter. They looked like they had zero motivation to go out there. Parma were incredible. Gervinho, I mean, the guy rolls back time. He's incredible. This is why we have him on our wall over here. Beautiful goal. Reminded me of Ribéry's against in Fiorentina's match too. And Parma were unlucky in their own fault to not go up by more goals. Cornelius had a chance that was right there. Gervinho, I think, had another chance, and they had the penalty. They didn't take advantage of their moments. And credit to Inter, though, they did come back into the match. They left it late. I think in 3 minutes they scored two goals.
89 minutes, it was still 1-0.
By the
Conte was in a
Right?
verge of having
No,
a collapse.
83rd.
83rd.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
83rd
Look
minute.
at Conte's
And both of your
body
center backs.
language. He was almost like that, trying to disappear under a corner over there on the tribune. And then all of a sudden,
Anyway, going back to Inter,
yeah.
I think Inter, they started, when I saw them in Coppa Italia, that they started, man, they looked so good. And
Yeah.
like you said, yesterday they looked really bad and not motivated, not running. Now, Eriksson is, he came out of the game. He didn't have a good game. He played a couple of good games. I liked him, but yesterday he was not there. I think Barella played really a good game. I think he was one of the best players on the game. Of course, you're missing a midfield. You're missing Brozo. You're missing some players there.
He was very nice.
what about Lautaro,
But
Lukaku?
then Lautaro, I
was
don't
real
know.
bad.
This guy, since they started,
Ship him out. Ship him
mentioning
out.
Barcelona. I don't know where the guy is at. I mean, I don't recognize the guy anymore. He looks really out of it.
He wasn't even. There was
Now-
one moment where he didn't even go for the ball.
Now-
He just kind of left it. It looks like it's a mental thing.
Yeah, it looks like a mental thing. Now, you keep talking about more players and more players. Now they're talking about this guy Hakimi.
Yeah,
that
which
he's
is
supposed to he's supposed to be
Wow,
a
it's supposed to
really
be great.
No, he's a great player.
he's supposed to be
He's
really a good player.
player.
I think a right full back so he
Yeah.
can go up and down.
Right wing
I
back, yeah.
think at a certain point you got to stop talking about these players and play the game. And I think even the players might think, oh, who's the next player who's going to come here next week? Who they're going to get? So they're not playing really as a team. What do you do with Eriksson? In the 3-5-2, he doesn't fit in. So now he changed it to what? To 3-4-3.
3-4-3.
3-4-1-2. Right? So he's playing the 3-4-1-2.
With Eriksen behind the two forward.
Yeah, so it's I think that he likes the 3-5-2, Conte. So now with Eriksson, I don't know, if this thing is going to work out. I mean, the guy is good. I like the play. He's very smart. He's got a great vision. He has a great skills. He makes nice passes. But is he going to fit into this formation?
But Gaetano,
I'm not sure.
did you factor Tonali now too? Tonali?
No, we're just talking about the team now. Forget
the
about
team
that.
now.
I think-
that's next year. Right now, I'm talking
Okay,
about
right
right now.
I think you guys
The
are
next
suffering
game-
from fatigue. I think that your team.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
Conte. We know that he's very regimented. With his fitness and all this stuff. But I think playing every couple of days, the team looks gassed. They do not look like.
Right.
Antonio,
Well, that's
Antonio's
what I'm
about to
saying.
kill me over here.
But what about
What is-
everybody else? We're
No,
playing
I'm
every
not
3
saying
days.
that they're not. I'm just saying that Inter specifically don't look like they have the energy
But
to keep
you have-
playing every
you have
couple
to
of
also
days.
see, not this game, but versus Sassuolo. I mean, we had Ranocchia, we had Gagliardini, and we had Alexis Sanchez in the starting. Which, okay, Alexis Sanchez, he should be good enough. But Gagliardini, as we see, he's not good enough to be an Inter player.
Oh my
And
God.
Ranocchia,
That miss
being
was-
that the center back, I don't know what the decision was to put Ranocchia in. But instead of Godin or someone else. That being said, we lack in midfield when you have these injuries. And listen, like you said, everybody has the same problem. All the teams are playing every 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's not a real excuse.
We're not
But
complaining about Ibrahimovic not playing. It is what it is.
no,
You
I
just,
know. But
you play with what you have.
exactly. But the point of the matter is they've had a lot of tales of two halves, and this is not just now. This is something that was a problem even earlier on, where Inter would have a flat first half, or they would have a fantastic first half and the second half come out flat.
Yeah.
So this is still something that is starting to work. And Conte, listen, it's his first year here. I think we could expect, or the season that they're having, we could have expected Inter to be really, really up and top and fighting for a Scudetto. But is it reality that, or can you really expect for a coach to come in and automatically go win Scudetto? A lot of times it doesn't happen. Just one point that I want to point out. In the past 10 years, and this is something I saw, Inter's points this year has been the highest since the triplete, 2010. 61 points.
It was some
They've
poor
never
It
had.
was some poor Inter since then.
Yes, but I'm saying even in the top Inter 2010, they had 57 points at the same
okay,
time.
including
at the
Oh,
same
wait a
time.
moment, wait a moment.
At the same time. So, which is pretty good for Conte. And we've lost 3 games versus 2 games versus Juventus and a game versus Lazio. So those 3 games, 9 points totals Inter's
That means
position
you're
in the
gonna win
table.
against the top team. So let me just say something about you, just in defense to Conte, to your best coach over there. First of all, 3 points to account for all the money that you guys have spent on players and all the transfers that you made and all the mistakes that includes Icardi. It's not much, actually. It's very little. You guys are 8 points behind Juventus right now, with Conte making 11 million euro a year.
Okay.
It's not okay. You said
Is that your
that's
money?
okay?
It's your money?
That's not okay.
Is that your money?
So there is nothing on defense of Conte. You're trying to say, oh, Conte is the coach that has got the highest point. What highest point? At what
I
price?
said based on the Inter team.
If you took away the game from yesterday, that would have been a loss. That would have been exactly the same point that Spalletti had.
as
That other loser coach that you have. Bottom line is this, Pete. You got nothing to show for. So far, you are 2 for 2. You're out of the Coppa Italia, and you probably 99% of the time you're going to be out of the Campionato. Now you're going to get kicked out by the UEFA too, and that is going to be your triplete. No Campionato, no Coppa, and no.
So you
UEFA League.
3-0 because you said they were going to win everything.
Me?
Yeah, you
I never said that.
You said that.
I never said that.
Inter was
You can
going to
check-
win everything.
Yeah, I'm not. I never said that.
Pete,
You can
did he
check
say
the record.
that you were
That's
going to
right.
win everything this
That's
year?
right. I think he was
anyway.
the only one that said it.
Anyway, on the last game, just one more thing. Kulusevski is what a player.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like
What
him.
a player! I thought it was a
Yeah.
little. I
No,
thought everybody was going
I
too
mean-
crazy.
I mean, the
I
guy,
like him too. I like him.
Really?
yeah, the guy had
He was
two,
good. He was
two
good.
shots that were 2 bullets. I mean, they couldn't stop him.
Also his
I
I had
size,
a different
man.
perspective than
He looks like
everybody
a.
else. Yeah, he's big. He's a big guy.
That's a
He was
Juventus
everywhere.
player, right?
He's gonna be.
Yeah.
A Juventus
Are you going to
player.
sit him on the bench?
To be honest with you, I guess I'm in the minority.
But how
I
come
mean,
you-
even.
Go ahead, sorry.
Where are you
No,
going to
no.
sit him? I mean, which position
Yeah,
you're
that's
going
what
to be
I'm-
taking away? Douglas Costa? What are you
Yeah,
going
it's
to do?
probably gonna be Douglas Costa, or he goes into the midfield.
No,
yeah.
he's going to play midfield.
People were very happy with Kulusevski's performance.
Left
He was
midf-
everywhere. He was good.
Left midfield. Who
I have
you
a- I
got
have a-
left midfield? You got nobody right now.
There's Douglas Costa,
Left midfield.
left midfield. Ronaldo.
No, in the midfield. not the- not
Midfield
the
that we're
three.
talking about.
Yeah, the midfield. He's not gonna play. He can't play center mid. I don't think.
I
he can
didn't
play
say
center.
center mid. I said left midfield.
But we don't play a left midfielder.
Well, you
Who
have
plays
here-
left midfield right
Mela-
now?
Matuidi.
Matuidi plays center mid.
No.
The three in the
Betancourt.
midfield.
Maybe you got Betancourt and Matuidi switching
Matuidi
position.
right now the midfield is who? Pjanic.
Can I tell you guys something? I'm gonna get hate for this. Kulusevski, you know who he reminded me of yesterday?
What?
He reminded me of Bernardeschi at Fiorentina.
No.
He reminded me of Bernardeschi at Fiorentina. I'm not gonna lie.
But-
He looked good he looked all right. I don't think is he really maybe I'm wrong, but he's gonna be a starter at Juventus?
Then don't get him.
No, they already got him. The 30 million, 35 million?
Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Everybody else thought that he played an amazing match. I get maybe I
I
didn't.
thought he played
You played a good match? Okay, fair enough. For Parma, I definitely feel like this could have been the weekend that the Scudetto was lost. It was very close with Lazio,
Inter, I mean.
with what they did, and Inter. If Inter would have lost, they definitely would have been out of it. But with a couple minutes to spare, they were able to get back into the match. And I think Conte, we saw him on the sidelines. He was sweating. Lazio.
Before you go ahead, Gaetano, did you see when Godin was taken out of the game?
No.
When Godin was subbed?
No.
I saw him on his face. He was black, very unhappy. You're taking a defender of that caliber. I mean, it was subbed for the guy that wound up
Bastoni?
scoring the goal. But you take Godin
Well, he
out
was
of the
not having
game.
a good game.
Godin has not worked.
Godin was not having
I
a
think
good
in the
game.
three-man
Wow.
formation, it just doesn't
So
work.
I
Yeah.
feel like they're going to ship him out.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
not.
don't-
He's not
yeah.
working out.
Lazio. Can we talk about Lazio
Yeah.
Fiorentina?
Go ahead.
Fiorentina again. I was really in the first half. We were watching the game together, and we were so surprised at Lazio the way that they were just very stagnant, not really walking around. I thought a good 55 minutes from Fiorentina. Ribery again, another one, just like reminded me of Gervinho.
Beautiful goal.
Class everywhere on the pitch. They looked really incredible. Castrovilli again just dominates the midfield for Fiorentina. And whenever that guy gets on the ball, you feel like something's going to get created. And this is the Fiorentina that I wanted to see. Like I see them playing against Lazio in Rome with character, with a good spirit, and without Chiesa. Chiesa wasn't there. Cutrone was starting up top, and then the match kind of fell through. Obviously, we already spoke about the penalty incident. Could it have been that really took from underneath them? Did they get tired? Did they lack discipline? I don't know what it was, but definitely the match changed after the penalty kick where Immobile scored.
And then they got the red card. That guy got the red card
Which was
too,
stupid.
so-
Which was stupid. Yeah, Fiorentina, they ended up losing the plot, and obviously they'll feel very hard done. I was so surprised that they didn't at least come away with a point. I was expecting, with the way that they were playing, I said for sure that, just like Parma, I said for sure they're going to be able to get a point. But Lazio, I guess, you have to say, showed their class in being able to get it. They obviously they got help with the penalty kick, but is what it is, and that was needed. I didn't think that they were going to have the fight in them, but that was very, very needed from Lazio.
Let me just say something very quickly. That I've been observing this lately. since we have no spectator on the field and everybody can hear even a little drop
Yeah,
of
it's
a
nice.
pin,
It's
there's
nice.
a lot of red cards and yellow cards on, oh, he overheard saying this, he goes to the bench, you out, you are yellow, you are a red, straight
Did
red.
you see Berni for Inter?
Right.
The guy's been on Inter for 7 years. He hasn't played an
Six
official
years.
match for 6 years.
Right.
He's gotten 2 red cards this season. 0
Listen,
matches played.
listen to this. Another thing, that was Kuko,
Kuchka.
Kuchko.
Yeah,
He
Kuchka.
got a red card. He got a red card for,
Yeah.
for saying something
Yeah.
that nobody heard or something like that. So that's another thing that factor into the Inter win.
Of course. But that's part of the game, Antonio. Skriniar got a red card before. He got a 3-game suspension for saying something. If he said something, the referee's gonna call.
No, he got a red. Then he said something on top of that. So
Yeah.
instead of 1 game, he got 3 games.
Exactly.
But this guy, without saying anything, he got a red card.
How do you know he
He
didn't say
definitely
anything?
said
Come on.
something if he got sent off.
So
Anything from Lazio Fiorentina
yeah,
specifically?
so a couple of things. Lazio, for a team that is that want to win the Scudetto, I was very disappointed. The mental approach to the game, I didn't like it at all. And the other thing that I don't like is the coach, this Simone Inzaghi. I'm sorry, but you cannot tell a player which, as they playing, where to go. He's telling them where to go. These are professional players. They know where to go. You've been coaching them for years. You want to tell them while the game is on, who's going to take the throw in? Who's going to take this? Come on, give me a break.
Too much.
we
Too
yell-
much, too much micromanagement.
You
You're right.
are there to motivate your players. That's what they pay you for. You have to motivate your player. Not that you stay there and you tell them where they have to go. And at the end of the first half, they came back into the field. Nothing. There was nothing that I saw them that they wanted to win the game. Okay? They got lucky because they got a gift. Okay? Otherwise, so that's what I want to see from a coach, that you motivate your. At the end of the first half, when they came, they should have, been wanting to win the game.
But Fiorentina played a spectacular game too.
As
Gaetano.
far as Fiorentina is concerned, they played well, Even though I have criticized Fiorentina, I criticized Fiorentina after the Brescia game, okay? They should have played better against the Brescia game. One thing, I don't like Hakimi. I'm sorry. I don't think the guy is a good coach. He hasn't coached a team for more than a year. He's changed so many teams. He stays there 1 year and then he leaves. I mean, you need to have this team. You have good players. You have a very good goalkeeper. You have somebody in the back who's very good from Argentina, is a very good player.
Petzela,
Pretzel.
too.
You have a couple of other defenders that they know what they're doing with experience. You have a midfielder with Castrovilli who's very good. Okay? The other midfielder, Duncan, I didn't like him that much, but you could improve a little bit. You have a beautiful
Two best midfielder on the wall.
Ribéry, who's unbelievable. The guy is just great. He gets the ball. He wants the ball. He comes back to midfield. He's the maestro. He's the guy that orchestrates everything. You got Chiesa, who's a national team player. You have
Castrovilli.
you got young players. This team should have played much better than what they're playing right now. The best thing that happens to Fiorentina is they lose games, and the teams behind them, they all lose. So that's
They're not
good.
gonna go down.
They're not going to go.
They're
So
not gonna go down.
there's no worry because all the teams behind, there's no hope there. So, but they have
Next
to.
season, they need a coach.
They have to play better. With the players that they have, they need to play better.
I think next season they get a guy like Spalletti who's going to give them some real structure.
Give me a break. They actually are getting on the.
No. I'm saying to get a guy like Spalletti. Obviously, we said Gattuso would have been that guy.
Tarabat, I
But
heard that they already bought him.
yeah, Amrabat.
How
Yeah,
about the guy?
That's
He's a
great,
he's a good
great
midfielder.
player.
He's a good midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for them, I think it was a good game. It was good for Fiorentina in terms of the way that they played. Obviously unlucky with what happened. But for Lazio, the only thing that I would say about that, even Mihailovic, we heard Mihailovic, even he was saying that that I heard him when they played Juventus, he was telling him pressure Matuidi when he gets the ball, pressure. So there's other coaches, not just Inzaghi. Even Conte. Conte's always telling his players what to do.
No, Conte is a motivator. Okay, so he wants
not a coach, a
he
motivator.
wants to motivate the team, and he wants to make sure
Not a
that
coach.
everybody's on their toes from the first minute up until the 90 minute. He wants them to be the thing that I see different from. There are other coaches here. That I see different is that he actually points to the player where he has to go on the field. Come on.
Yeah, Inzaghi.
Yeah, but like at least you can see the imprint of Conte. I mean, compared to last year, the Inter, say it as you want, are they playing great or whatever? There's Conte's influence on the Inter team. Same thing with like what we would hope Sarri was able to do with Juventus. We still haven't seen Sarri's imprint on the team. You know?
I understand what
But
you're trying to say.
At least, even though everyone has a different style, you see that the coach's influence on the pitch, even in a tactical setting, besides just psychological. Lazio, listen, for the season that they've been having, they're running high right now. Simone Inzaghi, Gaetano, you don't like him, but a lot of people in Italy have given him a lot of credit to what he's done with Lazio, and also, I mean, up until last year, Juventus even considered him as a coach.
He
So-
he has done a lot for Lazio.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is now you need to make the next step.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you want to win. Okay, you got there. You want to be a big time coach. Now you have to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are some coaches that they're always
That's it. They just stay.
they're always in the middle. Now you know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a game from Lazio. Remind me,
Celtic.
They
In
were.
Europa
I think
League.
the first time they won 3-0
They
or
won.
something.
They ended up with
They've been very poor. In that
And then
sense.
you go there
They lose 4-3.
and they lost and they were out of those European. I mean,
4-0, yeah, you're right.
you know,
I remember.
that's what I'm talking about.
No, it's true.
But listen, I want to give credit to, not much to Inzaghi. I think it's Tare, the big brain of Lazio. Tare is the one making
Oh,
all
Tare is the guy who buys all the players.
He's the brain.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
knows
a
where,
lot of smart
where to
moves.
plug the players, the
Oh,
new
yeah.
players, and all the stuff, and where to look for it.
I agree.
That's the man.
Real quick about Juventus, 4-0 win over Lecce. Ronaldo obviously got on a score sheet. Dybala, too. It felt like it worked a lot better. I love Dybala and Ronaldo together. For me, the two guys that always have to be on the pitch together. Then when Douglas Costa comes on, things work out a lot better. One thing I want to say about Ligt. Ligt, in my opinion, has been the best Juventus player of the season. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of people that are not educated, that speak and say certain things about Ligt based off of a few things that he did in October with handballs, and haven't watched the game of Ligt. They see highlight videos on Twitter of him hitting the handball from 9 months ago, but don't watch a game. Ligt, if you watch Juventus play, Ligt has been the best player for Juventus this season by a long shot, too. The leadership that he's shown at 19 years old, 20 years old, has been amazing, especially coming from a new league. Even if you compare a guy like Bonucci, who's had a lot bigger struggle to get into this Juventus side, he's been a leader for Juve in the back. He's been incredible. And I think that he gets wrongly criticized, because still to this day, I see people writing, wow, De Ligt is a flop. De Ligt, is he going to leave Juventus? It's absurd. Absolutely absurd. He's been the best player, and he's been incredibly quick in adapting. There's been a lot younger players that have taken seasons to be able to adapt. He took a couple months. So just for those that keep showing his handball, saying that he's not for Juventus, he's been the best player, followed by Dybala, in my opinion, and Ronaldo. But besides that, listen, you played Lecce. Lecce didn't go out. Lecce didn't come to play.
But Marco, come on, 4-0 with even AC Milan gave 4 goals to Lecce. Come on,
No, I'm not. I'm just. I wanted to. For me, the
have a
storyline was about De Ligt and about Dybala being able to. I like the way that Dybala played with Ronaldo. Obviously, with Juventus, the transfer market is the big thing, which we'll talk about. And I want to go back to something that you said, but let's go to Milan. 2-0 win over Roma.
Are we finished with Juventus?
You have something to say?
Oh, sure.
What do you have to say?
Go ahead.
All right, say it. If you got, I don't have
I'm going to say
anything.
Forza Juve.
What do you got to say?
No, if you talk about Juventus, we're going to talk about Arthur and later?
Yeah.
Okay. No, the other thing that I was going to say was about Sarri. What's Sarri's future in this team? Does he have a future?
No.
I mean,
Nobody likes him.
The team.
You don't like it.
They wanted to get rid of Dybala in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And now the Dybala is the guy that comes through in the big games, and it looks like he might win another championship.
Yeah.
But they need the Champions League. So I think a lot of it is riding on the
Absolutely.
Champions League for Sarri.
Absolutely, and I think
And the Sarri ball that he was talking, is there a Sarri ball? I don't know. I don't see it.
Nah.
he kind of had similar problem at Chelsea too last year, where like a lot of the players weren't buying into it and they weren't understanding exactly what he was. I was actually reading. I've been in bed a lot. I've been on YouTube, like watching old press conferences of Sarri, and I was listening to what he was saying. He gave an in-depth interview at Chelsea about certain players and why they weren't understanding his philosophy, and that it takes him like a year to be able for these people to understand the pressing mechanism. Whatever your opinion, it's fine. I'm just explaining that
I agree
what
with
he was
you. I
what
agree
he
with
was
you.
saying was that a lot of the guys weren't adapted to play his style, and that even at Chelsea they didn't have his exact player. So at Juventus, obviously a lot of the midfielders and a lot of players, they're not used to playing that certain way. So that by next year, he'll be able to get them to playing a real Sarri ball that you're not seeing it now because of the players that he has. I'm just saying what's been said.
Okay.
Marco, what is
and-
a Sarri ball? Tell
Okay.
Gaetano, you're
Yeah,
a technical guy. Explain to me, what is a Sarri ball? What is
There's
it?
a video with Ludovico that he explains. I'll send it to you so
What
you
is
can
a
watch it.
Sarri ball? It's a BS.
Okay.
Here's the point. That guy complained when he was in Chelsea that the player did not understand, not his philosophy. He's English or he's Italian. He blamed them. He blamed them. They said they do not. I have a hard time communicating with them. If you don't know what you're doing, that means, and then it's like another Conte, this guy here. When the things that are going right, he blames the players. That's why.
At the same time, if you check back at the statistics, Chelsea had like the highest points
Yeah, had a good season.
in a long time
Europa League.
and he ended up winning Europa League with them.
I don't
But
believe in a
either way,
Sarri ball. I don't believe in a
to
Sarri ball.
answer
There
your,
is no
to
such a
answer
thing
your
as Sarri
question,
ball.
he'll probably go on to win the league with Juventus now. He'll always be determined by the Champions
But there
League
is
of
no more league for
Lyon.
you.
If he goes out to
they
Lyon,
won
the
it.
problem is now with coronavirus, it's who you're going to get. It's what other coach can you get? There's people that say Pochettino. Sacking Sarri and getting Pochettino makes
No, no.
0.0%
that's not an
sense.
improvement.
It makes no sense. He's literally like the Argentinian
They
Allegri.
Cancelotti.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they
So
Cancelotti.
it's going to be hard to find a replacement, and I think that will play into Sarri's favor.
If we're talking about this, and this is an analogy, not even an analogy, but just a question that I had. For example, Napoli, right, with Ancelotti, and he's more of a tactical coach, you might say. So with Gattuso, you see this Napoli team really revamped, and they're playing more freely, and he's more, Gattuso, from what we've seen, is more of a motivator than a tactical-minded coach. And it's interesting to say, would Juventus benefit from a type of coach that's just a pure motivator, because you already have the players that can finish a game
That's
by
why
themselves?
I said Conte last year.
So
that's why I was
imagine
saying
a Conte
he would have
or
been able to
a
handle the team.
Simeone type,
I agree.
or someone like that.
I agree.
That is just able to motivate the team.
Because
Would
especially that you
work?
have Ronaldo, that
you have players
you're
that
not
can
gonna-
resolve
you
the
can't
game
waste
without
a
doing
year.
anything.
You can't waste a year of it. But I agree. I mean, that's what I was saying back in June, that it would have been more adapted for Conte to.
Spalletti. That's a motivator
Besides the
too.
point. Anything to say about your Milan winning 2-0 against Roma?
Listen, AC Milan didn't do much
Boring
to win.
match.
Didn't do much to win, but they concretized the games that they was displayed in front of them. We have those young guys that are unknown. Salesmaker, Paquetá is starting to run a little better, not hold the ball the way he used to. He's starting to distribute the ball a little faster, because the guy's major mistake was holding the ball and trying to dribble. We don't need dribblers over here. We need people that they take the ball, they look, and they pass to the right.
Rebic has been so important.
Has been shown that without Ibrahimovic, he still can handle
I think
the
8
job
goals
of
in
the,
his
of the
last 9
forward.
games.
We have
Real
the left fullback that we have with Theo Hernandez. Is a spectacular player. He's the one that created the penalty, and there is some fluidity on the game of AC Milan. Not to say that they deserve to beat Roma by 2-0, but they didn't wrap the game. The game was. It was honestly, it was a win. A win is a win. And Roma with 9 points different on top of that. I don't think that difference in the standing really makes a lot of sense.
Roma
to me.
didn't look good,
So
in my opinion.
to me, we're not like you guys that you're going to be winning everything. And whatever scrap is left in for us, if there is anything on the floor, we'll take it. That's it. That's it.
I was pretty disappointed with the match. I thought as a whole it was more boring than I was expected. And even for Roma, for Roma fans, it feels depressing. They keep looking, and I keep reading, everybody's comments on what they want to see and how the team plays, and they're just frustrated. And I understand, being frustrated. They felt like like you said, there's a big difference between Roma and Milan in the points. That these are a game that if you really want to push, you have to win.
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't enough.
But Roma right now, from A to Z, they have problems. I mean, from the
Ownership.
James Pallotta to suspending the sporting director Gianluca Petrarchi to
Transfer market.
We don't know what's going on with this player, that
Transfer
player.
market, selling the team.
So
No, but
there's
that's
a lot of confusion right now in Roma, and the players feel it. You can see how they're playing. The same time, Milan. Listen, Pioli. He's known as the normalizer. He's not gonna make any spectacle, game. So he's gonna be there to just put the team in place to have the chance to win. And Milan so far, since coming back, have shown some life, and they might have a push for not necessarily Champions League, but at least a solid 5th place spot if all goes well. So, Milan.
I have to be honest with you. I appreciate from this guy here, not that his style of coaching, that the fact he's giving the chance to the youngster, like a Salas Maker, some of those young kids that he's been plugging in. He's been
He also has
plugging
no
into the
Ibra
team.
too, which
Huh?
is he also has no Zlatan, which is
Well,
difficult.
but at least he's not complaining.
And I think
know.
the biggest thing for Milan is the 0 goals allowed.
Right, because who do you have as a goalkeeper? We don't have Meret, we don't have anybody else. We have the best. Everybody said it. It's the best goalkeeper.
Maldini said it.
Maldini said it. He said he's the best goalkeeper.
of the world, none of Italy, of the world.
I know, but Maldini's also.
None of this, okay, that's for you.
Napoli,
But
5 wins
Maldini-
in a row.
Of the world.
5 wins in a row, Napoli.
W of the world. The best of the world.
Napoli too. Napoli have turned things around big time. Obviously after the Coppa Italia and everything that Gattuso has done. Finally, some life, some hope. They're finishing the season on a high. The only thing is, when you got this Atalanta that's securing that 4th spot every week, they go out there with a vengeance. And it always makes me laugh, the teams that say, oh, we've been off for 3 months. We've been off for 2 months. How are we going to do it? And even Del Piero said it. Del Piero said, I give Atalanta such big hopes in Champions League because look at them. Look how they've come back after the break. They look incredible, especially compared to other teams around there. They have not missed a beat. Even Muriel, incredible. 2 incredible goals from Luis Muriel, who comes... Like, he's a guy he's got the most in the history of Serie A since the 3-point ever. No substitute has ever scored more goals in a season than Muriel.
I want to give a lot of credit to what your father said before. Not that it's
About
my
what?
style. About Inzaghi. Inzaghi trying to micromanage every play. You come here, do this way, do that. Gasperini, when he was sent off,
Speak into the mic.
and he was not on the field, he was on the stand over there. Gasperini was just watching the game like this, and
Like
Atalanta, man, running like a freaking. They were like everything was on automatic, like memory. Everybody knew what to do. No much direction from the coach from the second that he was on the bench. Everybody knew what to do and where to go and how to react to the game and how to play the game.
They're
this
machines.
Muriel has been a big plus for them.
Yeah.
I
machines.
wish 2-3 years ago, where the rumors was that Muriel could have come to AC Milan. I
was close.
wish we would have taken him.
He was close.
That was the biggest disappointment.
Well, he
because,
should have stayed Fiorentina, first of all. But
Yeah.
But as far as Atalanta is concerned, no, they look like they're enjoying playing soccer.
Yeah.
When you look at them, they really enjoy. And no matter what the score is, if you feel like they're going to come back. And
That's
just
so true.
and just seeing Muriel, to go to the sideline and grabbing Gasperini and
Lift him
him up in the, you could see that
They love the coach.
Yeah, they're together.
He
Now-
said that
They're together.
Gasperini said that after the last match, he told Muriel that he looked dead. He's like, you weren't doing anything, you weren't running. So then that's why Muriel went to go pick him up after he scored the goals.
You said to me just a few minutes ago to Peter that Conte could be the motivator that Juventus need. You don't need a motivator. You need somebody that knows how to play soccer. Gasperini knows how to play the game. He will plug you the players on the right spot. I said, this is what you do. They playing 12 people offense and 12 people defense.
12.
Okay? So that's what they do. They
12.
go as a unit, up and down. Not the Sarri philosophy. Where is it? Tell me. What's the Sarri's game? I still don't understand.
Well, why don't you get him at Milan? I don't understand.
I
Why don't you get
wish.
Gasperini
I
at Milan?
wish.
Yeah, well, make a phone call.
I wish.
but
Make a
I
phone.
wish you guys are listening to me. He's the best coach that we have in Europe and maybe in all the world.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Listen. I gotta go all the way out on the limb. This guy here, he can win the Champions League with his team. Okay? You're gonna cut my tongue if I.
Hey,
This is
Del
gonna get
Piero said the
closer.
same thing today. He
Listen.
said they could dream about winning the Champions League now.
This team, with this philosophy, with the player, with the system that they have in place,
Okay, sorry.
they can
sorry.
win the Champions League.
Can I just throw one thing out there? And I'll give you credit just first.
How many years I've been bragging about Gasperini, by the way?
One second.
How many years?
I think a couple months.
Couple months?
A lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people in the comments, like after Juventus has been doing that well, after they got out to Napoli, a lot of people were like, Antonio's been saying for a long time, Gasperini, that he would be the perfect coach for Juventus. One quick question. What would you do would you root for Juventus then, if Gasperini, or do you still want him to not win?
No, I mean, hey, if he wins with the Juventus, it's going to be just telling you and everybody else, I said, hey, he was right.
So you turn into a Juventus fan.
No,
But
no
you want
way.
them to win, so you're going to turn into a
No
Juventus
way,
fan.
but it's going to show you that all of these coaches that you guys have been paid so many millions of dollars for nothing, this guy doesn't even make 20% of what Conte makes. To what? To do what?
Let me just
do what?
throw something out there. It's Sarri's first season at Juventus. It's Conte's first season at Inter. It's not Gasperini's first season at Atalanta.
That's nothing to do with that. That's got nothing to do
That's
with
not
that.
a factor?
That's nothing to
It's
do with that.
not a factor at all?
Nothing.
Zero.
Wow.
Zero. Listen, you're
No.
a professional player. You're a professional player, right? You should know what to do. When you have practice, when you're not playing in front of a spectator, so you have practice, the coach is telling you to do this. This is what you're going to do. If you're good at doing on practice, you're supposed to do the same thing when you're on the field. Gasperini, that's what he does.
Yeah, but there's different
time.
philosophy and tactics and way of playing. And some of these players, if you want to play the 3-5-2, you need certain players that you could play the 3-5-2. You cannot just put any players to play the two guys on the outside. The two guys on the outside, they have to be right fullback,
And
right midfielder, and right wing.
Yeah.
And they have to have 4 lungs because they got to run up
Look
and
the
down,
room.
up and down.
Look the room. Aside
Like-
from the goal kick that
Okay.
the goal that he put
Now,
in on net.
Candreva does that for Inter on the right side. I don't think he's that good, but he's one guy. I think he makes a lot of mistakes.
You're not wrong.
So he's got Candreva on one side. On the other side, he's got Biraghi, who I don't think is that good either.
You're not wrong.
So you need the right players. Then he changes with. He changed it with. Asamoah got hurt.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Moses has been good.
Victor Moses.
Now,
Give credit to Moses.
Yeah,
He hasn't been bad.
Moses yesterday
Not been bad.
when he came in.
What
I
a
mean,
great assist.
and I don't know how he did it because
Yeah.
he went down the line. He's gonna cross with the right. All of a sudden he makes a U-turn and he crosses with the left.
It was an instinct, just a
and-
lucky,
and
That was
lucky
incredible.
play.
And it's
that was
like
beautiful.
he knew that the guy
Yeah.
was there because the guy he was by himself.
I think you're wrong. You're wrong. You
No,
didn't
it's
know it. It was a
not.
luck. It was luck, just pure luck.
Okay,
The guy
okay.
didn't know. He turns without even looking at it and he crossed the ball.
That was incredible.
Because he
It was
supposed to
pretty
look at
crazy.
it.
Okay, but I'm saying those are if you
But still
want to
skill.
play the 3-5-2, you need certain players that have the ability to play. If you don't have those players, then you need to get those players.
But Gaetano,
The one thing
to
about
your
Atalanta-
to your points, how come we have Caldara that we took from Atalanta, right? He
a
stays
good
on
point.
AC Milan for
That's a
2
good point.
years,
That's a good
even
point.
after the injury. The AC Milan couldn't find a place for this guy here to play.
That's a good
he
point.
goes back to Bergamo. This guy's he's been clocking a lot of minutes with Gasperini. What does that tell you? The coach is very important. The coach knows how to communicate.
Nobody's
to the player.
arguing against that.
But
We're
that's
not
what I'm
arguing
saying. What I'm
against that.
saying is, we just buy players for so many millions of dollars.
You're right.
They
You're right.
get people. They teach them how to play. They say, "This is what I want you to do."
We agree with this. We all agree. I think
Okay.
we all do
Yeah,
agree.
but this is style.
You don't need an
But
11
that's,
million euro motivators over there.
But that's the job of a coach. You got to try to get the best out of your players. And different players, and different
but the
styles.
system- the system,
and you need,
Gaetano, is very important.
And you need how to talk to those
But-
players, and and that's what a coach is there for.
Yeah, the system is important, but like Gaetano said, you have to have the right players to play those positions. Hata Boyer, those guys like that have been unbelievable. Also having the chance to get Derun, they sold Derun, and then they ended up buying him back from England. I forgot the team right now, off the top of my head. He had a terrible season, comes back and is back amazing.
Caldara's the
You know,
same
you
way.
had Caldara is another example. You have guys such as Papu Gomez, Ilicic, Zapata. These are guys that have been good can't even say it right
Consistently.
now. Consistently in Serie A, and these are the right moves to take. And Gasperini has been able to use these guys and play in those positions.
But
Maybe they'll
Zapata was
take
not good enough for
Gagliardini back.
Napoli, Peter. Zapata was not good enough for Napoli.
But you
What's the matter with that?
have to remember also the age, the experience. Players, as they get older, develop. You get more knowledgeable. You understand the game better. You move.
But
Zapata has always
and,
been.
systems and groups. They matter. They matter. There's,
Of course.
There's a lot of Gagliardini. How the hell do you miss with right in front? Any professional player goes. But when you're having a bad time, when the fans are against you, when there's
there's
all
a lot
these
of
different
pressure.
factors, sometimes you miss. If he was on Atalanta, he would have bagged it in, or anybody else
He
would
was
have
an
bagged it in.
Atalanta player, wasn't it?
I know.
Yes,
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
what he's saying.
They could take him back, maybe.
What do you want?
Just give him back to
Kessie too.
Atalanta.
Kessie.
Kessie.
Okay, one thing
Well,
about
Kessie's been playing
Atalanta-
okay. Kessie's been playing okay.
One thing about Atalanta that always makes me laugh, they smacked Sassuolo when they came back. It was 4-1. It was 4-0. And then everybody right away, when we were saying, oh, look, Atalanta didn't even have a break. Oh, but look, it's Sassuolo. Then Inter struggles with Sassuolo. And now what does everybody say? So there's such a, even in Champions League, like, oh, they get easy draws. There is like this thing around Atalanta from certain fans that they want to take away from it. And I think that we just need to understand how incredible it is that the philosophy and the mentality that the team has, especially with the budget, is pretty incredible. And to not take away, because any game, Inter could slip up against Parma. Juventus, they didn't slip up against Lecce, but you could find these matches that teams slip up, and it's about having that consistency. And I think that any team, the point was Napoli, Roma, anyone else that wants to get that fourth spot, good luck trying to take it away from Atalanta, because they are grabbing on with both hands. They do not want to let that go. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's talk about transfers, which is a big topic, talking point. You were saying about Lautaro with Barcelona. His head looks like this. And today, official, Arthur joins Juventus, signs. Pjanic signs for Barcelona. All done, 100%. Medical is done. Announcement today. The deal, just to give context, the structure is weird. Juventus are going to pay between 70 and 80 million for Arthur. Oh, and then, listen, it's really a swap plus 10 million for Pjanic. But the way that they're doing it, it's like financial doping. They're trying to balance their books a lot better. So they say, oh, we're going to pay 70 to 80 million for Arthur. Oh, and for Pjanic, we're going to pay 60 to 70 million. So the difference is like 10 million. It's basically the same thing. It's just accounting reasons. Anyway, my point was, and I'm not talking about the player. I just wanted to go to your point about the psyche of a player. Pjanic posted a video today saying, obviously he said very nice things about Juventus, but then afterwards he said, let's go Barca, Forza Barca, Mes que un club, all this stuff. And I'm thinking, this guy still has over a month to play with Juventus and a Champions League and a league to win. It is so strange that we allow this transfer to happen right now. To me, it was mind-boggling. Even Arthur, there's a video that his coach was trying to, he went from the second that the game ended, Barcelona, he hopped on a plane, went to Torino, and then went back. And his coach was trying to make him train, and he was like, I'm not going in. I'm not warming up. It is such a strange dynamic that we have players making transfers now where there's still time to go into season. To me, it's very, very weird. And I think mentally, it's going to be interesting. I know Sadi says, oh, Pjanic is a professional. And I'm not doubting that he's going to train and this. For me, it's very, very strange. I don't know. This was something on my mind today that I don't think it's kind of right, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Marco, listen.
What do you think,
before
Peter?
let's get
No,
far,
you're going to
go
get.
ahead.
I want a real answer.
I think the human factor is that we all think, and if already he writes something, it's definitely something in his head that he says, I'm a Barcelona player
course.
now. You're going to be professional enough, but in the end, you still have something. You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about something else, and it can create this confusion. That being said, under these circumstances, unfortunately, they've made that all the contracts end June 30th. So it's still the same system. And then that's why a lot of teams had to create these agreements to get an additional loan of 2 months.
But do they need to be announced publicly? Does this all need to have publicly?
Yeah, it shouldn't. I don't know why, but I think what happens is these teams, it's going to be leaked out anyway. Because you're going to have these guys, you have to have these guys go for a medical. You want to make sure that you close the deal now and agree to the terms. Then a month later, something happens and either someone gets injured or they say, no, I want X amount more. And then you could create all this other controversy, and the deal falls.
What I'm saying
through.
is they can't just sign these things and then not announce it and wait till the end. They can't. It's not.
But the thing is, it's all based on a medical. So the medical is still going to be.
I don't know. Just something felt wrong to me. Yeah. It feels weird just seeing Pjanic say these things.
What happens if somebody gets hurt?
It doesn't
say
matter.
No, it's done
Let's say
deal.
Pjanic gets hurt.
It's a done deal. Is Pjanic still going to be playing throughout the season?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay. Because there's been transfers like Timo Werner.
They take it
went
off.
to Chelsea. He's not going to play for Red Bulls anymore in the
Okay,
Champions League.
but Pjanic
No,
is gonna
Pjanic
play.
is playing.
Yeah. So if he gets injured,
That's
still
it.
a
It's
Barcelona
Barca's
fan,
problem.
No problem.
Gaetano, listen to my point.
I
Gaetano,
don't like it.
Something's
I
weird.
know, but it's a done
Gaetano,
deal.
look my
I don't
point.
like it.
But
The only thing I know you're saying that the circumstances are Corona, but even like last year with Ramsey with Arsenal, like, and I know maybe that one's okay because it was a free transfer, but I feel like we've seen many times in the past players that they already know that they're gone next year. Everybody knows and they say it. Something about it feels weird.
But
to
I mean,
me.
after April 30th, the player is free to sign if he's a free transfer.
Okay.
He's able to sign with another club as a free transfer.
Peter,
Then in
let-
this case, it's a different
Let
situation.
me
I
tell
don't
you
know,
my,
I don't like it.
Let me tell you my point.
Feels weird.
Okay, about this whole stuff with Pjanic and a few other
Yeah,
people
and
like
Arthur.
Lautaro and everybody else. Juventus is still competing for the Champions League. Okay, if for some reasons Juventus slips up and Pjanic is one of the players that might be culpable for Juventus not making the right play at the right time or looking sluggish or something like that, this is going to be a problem.
I don't think he can get any
agree with
worse
him.
than what he's been.
Yeah.
I
But,
agree
I mean,
with him.
we can go-
This stuff here should not be happening while the players are still wearing the jersey of the people. They're getting the salary from the ownership of Juventus.
We can go as far back as Lazio Inter. Remember the last day? De
Vrij.
Vrij was already on
Yeah.
Inter, and he
I
caused
like
the penalty.
De Vrij.
Exactly. There's something wrong with that. There is something
What
wrong.
happens if Juventus plays Barcelona?
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be
There
weird.
you go. Now
Who
what?
the hell does he want? I know. I understand. I'm not trying to say that they're gonna do it.
No, but he's right. I remember De Vrij, last year.
That's a good good memory. on
Yeah,
that.
no, it's. I don't like it.
I don't
Yeah.
like it
I
either.
don't like it
Nobody
either.
likes
I mean, I saw this video of Pjanic saying "Mes que un club." I can't wait to play on Barcelona. Forza Barcelona. We still got a
even-
month, and we've got a Champions League to win and a
And
league to
Scudetto.
win.
But
That's
listen to me,
crazy.
This is the major point. Now this
Sorry.
is the thing that is going to be the most important break. Today, the soccer is about money. When me and your father were 20 or 30 years younger, okay, the game was about soccer. It was not about money. Everybody plays
it's ridiculous what's
soccer.
that. It is crazy.
Now it's money. We're talking about money. How much is this? How much is that?
It's crazy.
How much is Lautaro? How much is Icardi? How much is Rabiot? How much is this? This is nothing but an economic
But why do you
issue
think
right
we're
now.
playing right now?
It is crazy.
Well, excuse me?
Yeah, we're
Why do
playing
you think
'cause
we're
of money.
playing right now?
For money.
Well,
it's money.
Your buddy, your best friend Sadi even gave a quote today. He said, "We talk too much about transfers." He said every conversation. He said we need to get back to the day. This is what he said. He said we need to get back to the days where we're not talking about transfer fee. We're not talking about who's going where. Let's talk about the actual football that's going to be on display.
Right.
I do agree, and I understand both perspectives. To speak about this, like the reason why this deal got done, I don't know if you know. I was explaining it to my dad. Barcelona fans, we interviewed a Barcelona expert who ran basically an IFTV for Barcelona, who was so disappointed in the way that this is going. Because if you think Artur, right, we don't know about him as a player. Barcelona fans rate him very highly. He's 23 years old. Pjanic, all of us here has said that Pjanic has not been the same Pjanic from Roma. He's 30 years old. So how in the world are you going to give Juventus a player that's 7 years younger for only 10 million, and you're taking a player that's worse, and he's 30 years old? And the reason being is because of the way that FFP and accounting and all this stuff works. Barca need a way to balance their books because they spent so much money on Dembele and Griezmann and Coutinho and all these players who have not panned out that when you buy a player, and Peter could speak to this, when you buy a player, let's say you buy a player for 50 million, right? You could spread out that 50 million being balanced on your books within 5 years. You could say, all right, it's only going to count 10 million this year, 10 million next year, 10 million this year, which allows you to buy more players. When you sell a player, it's going to account for right now. So they're saying, oh, look, Arthur, we got 80 million right now. When realistically, is Arthur 80 million? Is Pjanic 70 million? It's not about that. So Barca was forced into a situation where they had to sell somebody to be able to balance their books, and they got screwed in a way to give away Arthur. Now, I don't know the player very well. Barcelona fans all across the world they want their management sacked. Barcelona's in a disaster. They're losing their league. Their coach is a mess. I saw a video of their coach. He was too scared to even talk to the team at halftime when Barcelona were losing a match. Wow. It was almost embarrassing. He was looking at Messi like this. He was terrified at halftime. And their board, they're very upset with losing a player like this. For Pjanic, I think Juventus wins in this move.
Absolutely.
You're getting a better ball-playing midfielder who's younger. We don't know what to expect. Obviously, people have said he has disciplinary issues. We don't know. But either way, it's crazy. But this is the football that we live in.
Paratici better than Pallotta, by the way. Pallotta he made all of this.
Marotta.
I'm sorry.
Why did they selling him?
They had to sell somebody, and they had to balance their books because of their accounting.
I bet you it doesn't fit on the schemes that Messi and company wanted to run.
Messi. There's actually an interview of Messi saying how much he.
Yeah, but there are so many players that they
The
have.
Senators.
Who else could they have sold? Who else could they have sold?
Well,
And they had to get this done by the 30th.
yeah, for once, the guy Vidal, he's one that.
Yeah, they're not going to get 80 million for him.
Oh, they sell
You're not gonna
two.
get him
Sell
anything.
two
Vidal is going with you guys, right?
No, he's not. Anyway, last thing
You can
before we
sell a
end.
couple of players.
Let's just say last thing. Hakimi to Inter, which is massive. The guy is one of the best prospects for fullbacks in Europe, playing for Dortmund, owned by Real Madrid, who was, when this news came out, nobody was even thinking that it was possible for him to join Inter. Obviously, Real Madrid have Carvajal, who's still young, who's still 28 years old. And they're saying that Hakimi, and I know Antonio's going to love to hear this, they're saying that Hakimi chose Inter over Bayern Munich, over Manchester City, because of Antonio Conte and because of the guaranteed
God.
of being able to play a lot more under Conte and in Conte's system. That's what they're saying. The deal's around 40 to 45 million. It should be done by the time this podcast is up. It's probably already announced. Everything seems like it's good. First off, Peter, how do you feel making a slight upgrade from Candreva to Hakimi?
Slight.
They're going to win with this now.
Big upgrade.
You're going to win with this, right, Pete?
Which is the biggest thing that we've been saying is missing.
Well, this has been a problem for Inter since Mancon. We have no left back, right back for a long time that can actually play with the ball and give decent crosses. This guy Hakimi, he is something special in his ability to run up and pass players, his speed, his crossing ability, goal scoring. You don't find guys that score, what was it, 8 goals, 9 goals?
I'm not sure how many.
And 9 assists as a right back. That's pretty remarkable. Now, can he translate that from Bundesliga to Serie A? To be seen. But definitely a young player that has shown a lot of promise, very similar to Theo Hernandez. I think Milan's...
From Real Madrid, too.
And the same
it's a
size,
good-
same type of ability. Real Madrid,
true.
for financial fair play reasons, for not finding space because they have Carvajal already in that position and being able to let him go, I think Inter are going to get a steal for a player that can make the difference. 40 million,
That's
okay,
crazy.
it might be a lot, but
No,
it's not a lot in this
It's
market.
not a lot.
And he also chose to take less money to come to Inter. That means he's
Wow.
happy for this project. This is a player that Inter
40
needs.
million is not a lot for
No, it's not.
a
It's
real
not.
good right
It's
back.
not.
And with this player, you're going to win everything.
It's going to help.
It's going to have to win everything, right? Right? You guys are disillusioned to think that Hakimi is going to make a big difference for you guys. I'm going to tell you the reasons why. First of all,
Tell us why, Antonio.
you
I
got
wanna
so
hear
many
this.
players that they were supposed to be different makers for you.
Who?
Alexis.
No,
This guy-
no one said that.
Oh, what? Why did you
He
get
wasn't
it?
going to be a sub.
Wait a moment.
But we're talking about
Eriksen.
right wing back.
Eriksen.
Eriksen, give him
Alexis.
some time.
You got Barella. You got
Okay.
Sensi. You got.
And they're playing
just about
really good.
everybody.
Anto, you don't think Hakimi is better than Candreva?
Listen, Candreva so far, as much as I don't like him, he did a lot for Inter. He put so many crosses into the box.
Yeah, but he's got to hit the target, not just put crosses.
Antonio does
don't
not want
like
to give
him.
Inter credit
I just
that
don't
he's
like
giving
him.
credit to Candreva.
I don't like the guy. That's why, thank God the guy got sacked. Listen to me. You don't have anybody better than Candreva right now in that position. Who's better than Candreva for you to cross the ball? Nobody else knows how to cross the ball.
That's why they're getting Hakimi.
Okay.
That's the whole
But
point.
that's the point.
He's a
We need a
huge,
better
he's a
I got news for
massive
you. I
upgrade.
haven't seen Hakimi crossing that ball so many times. For the highlights that
How
I've
many
seen
times
from
you
this
watch
guy
it?
here. Listen to me.
You're
This guy
hating.
here
You're
runs
hating
down
right
the
now.
line.
Antonio, you're hating right now.
He runs down the
You're
line,
just mad.
and then he dictate a pass for him to just go
You're
deep.
just
Okay.
mad right now. You're mad right
Still
now.
if he makes the right pass.
This is a
I
right back.
just wish you all the best, and I think this guy here is gonna wind up on the bench. When if the first 2-3 games is not gonna put any solid numbers on the field, he's gonna wind up sitting on the bench with the rest of the crew. Okay.
Considering the lack of fullbacks that there are in the market, and I think good example of Theo being the steal from Real Madrid, even like a team like Juventus to not be able to get a guy like Hakimi when you have Cuadrado playing right back, who's not really a right back, it's pretty incredible. And I give Inter a lot of credit. When I saw the rumors, I didn't think that Hakimi would go there.
So
But-
Chiesa, I guess he's not going to Inter.
not in that position unless he's gonna change the second striker and Lautaro.
Good answer.
So Juventus is going to get killed.
Listen,
Any idea? Any thoughts?
No, the last thing is Lautaro. What's the story with Lautaro? Is he going? He's not going?
No one wants
He's
that
out.
guy. That guy's a washout.
Inter's stance, which I like, Marotta has been very clear to say, listen, we want him, and unless Barcelona's gonna hit that amount, the 111 or whatever it is, he's not for sale.
That's
So he made it
BS.
very clear. But at least he's putting out the statement.
Right now, I think even 70 you take.
Listen, if I'm Inter,
What would you
If
take?
I'm
What's the
Inter-
lowest you take?
oh, listen,
70 you take?
70 million.
70,
70,
80.
65?
If there's a need.
65?
I think
50.
also next year.
How about
No,
50?
no,
65?
under 70, no.
That guy
Under
is not
70,
better
no.
than Icardi. Listen, Gaetano, I think you got a good point over there. Listen to this.
He's so happy.
Listen to this.
Happy.
Up to 2
I know
3
you're
weeks
smiling
ago,
under there.
2-3 weeks ago, Lautaro was $150 million.
111 is his buyout clause.
$150 million.
111.
All of a sudden, he disappears on the field. From 150, now we're talking about 70. By next week, this guy's going to be $30 million.
They're going to pay.
By the end of the
To
campionato.
get him out of it.
Listen to me.
To Barcelona.
You
I'll
listen,
pay.
no, listen to me. By the end of the campionato, he's going to wind up begging the coaching staff to make him play. Saying, I'm paying you out of my pocket to play for Inter, even on the bench. The guy's not worth not even 10 million. Okay? He's not worth anything. He's a washout. That's it.
It was a very funny point until you went. It was funny how you said 100.
10 million will be a stretch and just give it up right now before they change their mind. Nobody wants him.
What do you mean nobody wants him?
Listen, Pallotta's been Marotta has been making this statement out because they knew that they make a mistake. They said, I think we overshot ourselves. Now it's like, let's try to repair to the big mistake that we made by
What was the
opening
big
our mouth
mistake?
about this guy.
Okay.
This guy was already in Barcelona's roster, according to you.
No.
And according to everybody. Now, nobody talks about him anymore.
Well,
because
maybe Barcelona now has the money to buy him.
nobody wants him.
What are you? Why are you yelling at me for?
Nobody wants him.
Listen,
nobody
I
wants
I
him.
agree with
don't think
Peter
nobody
that
wants
I
him.
think that if Inter fans, if you get the 111 million right now,
Nobody wants him. Not even by
let's do
far.
it.
Not
But
even. Listen.
Let's
$40 million.
not exaggerate how bad Lautaro's been. It's only been a couple of games.
Couple games.
Yeah, it's been a
Are
couple
you
of
kidding
games.
me? Against stupid teams, you're supposed to be putting three or four goals
It's probably
on each game.
that's probably a head problem.
That guy's washed out.
Guys, we're gonna end the podcast right now. We're gonna answer a couple of questions, but they're gonna be on the audio only version. So head on over to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you listen to your podcast. Go listen to the audio version, and we're gonna run through a couple of these questions. So we'll see you there.